Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met with Minister of Social Solidarity, Dr. Niveen Qabash, to follow up on the state's efforts to promote traditional crafts and handicrafts nationwide. And according to the presidential spokesperson, Ahmed Fahmy, President el-Sisi directed that all the forms of support for the preservation and development of the heritage craftsmen continue to be provided within the framework of the state's strategy to support the small and micro entrepreneurs. And we have more details in the following report. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met with Minister of Social Solidarity, Dr. Niveen Qabash, to follow up on the state's efforts to promote traditional crafts and handicrafts nationwide. According to presidential spokesperson Ahmed Fahmy, the president directed that all forms of support for the preservation of heritage craftsmen continue to be provided. This is due to traditional crafts' active role in social and economic growth, as well as the important contribution of heritage crafts in the preservation of Egypt's national identity and cultural wealth. The President also directed the application of the highest quality standards for handicrafts in line with national and international standards, with an emphasis on innovation and the blending of authenticity and modernity, and taking into account the effective operation of capital in the interest preserving national heritage and promoting human and sustainable development. The meeting also witnessed a review of the experience of women community leaders in the field of enhancing women, family, and society awareness through the development efforts of the community leaders' mechanisms on several aspects related to services and awareness. In this regard, the President directed that these efforts continue to monitor and resolve common societal problems on the ground and to develop the best ways to implement appropriate solutions. And with us live here in the studio, our dear prominent guest, Dr. Amira Sabeq. She's a strategic planning and human development expert. Good morning, Dr. Sabeq.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
It's great.
Of course, as we all know, that these type of craftsmanship and I mean, the following report was featuring what we were talking about. Of course, the President gave his directives to continue supporting the traditional crafts, because this is a preservation of our culture and our identity at the same time.
True.
So how do you assess that particular thing when it comes to continuing and preserving our culture and adding every year throughout these activities? What's your assessment and your intake of that?
Actually, let's state a fact that in all emerging economies, other than Egypt, like in African countries and Asian countries, the idea or the concept of handicraft clusters is a spreading phenomenon. So when we speak, or when we come to speak about Egypt specifically, we are talking about artistic inheritance. We are talking about authenticity of civilization. So, and this has always been differentiating Egypt other than other countries and cultures. When the government now is putting hand in hand to focus on something that has been disappearing for a while in Egypt. Let us state another fact, that handicraft has been hidden for a while, has not been promoted for a while, has been demotivated for a while. And now we are figuring out that we are having a treasure that we need to unleash. So what is President el-Sisi doing with Dr. Niveen Qabash? They are unleashing the potential of a big sector in Egypt that can really be an added value in our economy, and it will enrich a sector that we are unique in. Especially we are now in an age of technology, and everything has become materialistic and everything has been mass-produced. Egypt has always been different. So when we speak about the government taking care of something that has been demotivated for a while, and now it's time to use it for our economy, part of our economic plan, part of our enriching our culture, part of showing the world that yes, we are still keeping our culture and treasure.
Part of our
and
heritage.
Part of our heritage and inheritance. And we have always been very famous and very popular of this. So I think now they found out, yes, it is time to give it more enrichment, more focus to flourish again.
Right. Before I delve into the second question, but why do you think this have diminished or declined a little bit? Is it because of the age of digitalization? I mean, the pace of digitalization with the advent of events, the corona and the pandemics and the I mean the crisis worldwide. I mean, the face of the world have changed, and don't we have to keep with the momentum? How are we going to cope between our authenticity and the modernization?
This is the dilemma that it needs really clever people to work on. We are now not just in a dynamic age, we are in a VUCA age, we are in an agile age. Everything is going very fast and losing the taste, losing the humane touch, okay? So yes, it is diminishing, it is disappearing because of technology. No one is taking care of any, no one is noticing any artistic thing around them, okay? But as Egypt used to be pioneering and in a different area than other countries, now we can say yes, we are opting with the technology, we are keeping up with technology, but we are keeping our artistic treasure, we are keeping our crafts that tourists used to come for. So yes, it will be difficult, especially with the new generation. Technology will fight, technology will be opposing, but I think Egyptians will be sticking to their inheritance and to the beautiful things that we were raised on.
And economical wise also.
Definitely economical. It's opening job opportunities. It is opening
tourism,
lots of job
venues and everything.
That's true. Yes, yes.
So, to what extent does the state contribute in opening wider horizons for the spread and development of this particular taste of art? I mean, as we can see that the president is taking heed of every little corner, even these crafts that are diminishing, he still has time to be able to negotiate little parts like that. So probably there is a plan that is in a sense that there are going to be some special markets, special seasons or exhibitions to be able to bring this in a new way to the world.
Talking about the horizons, if you remember that Khan el-Khalili was the main cluster for all handicrafts. It was just Khan el-Khalili. The Egyptian government said that this is not enough. We want to have more clusters in different geographical areas, like Upper Egypt, like different areas in Egypt. We are having lots of resources that we can use in our country. But what the government found out through interviews with people, that people were not encouraged to go into this sector. People are now looking for technological sectors, they are going to industrial sectors, to different, other than craftsmen. So they started to have unstructured interviews with craftsmen to know their problems. Why you want to change career? Why you don't want to continue in this? They started to point the gaps. Okay, we don't have the proper investment for this. We are poor because people who are having this talent, they are not businessmen, okay? People who are working in this job, they are not businessmen. So sometimes they don't have enough money. We don't have the tools. We don't have the coordination. We don't know what to do. We don't have direction. So the country started to pinpoint the gaps and to know what problems they are facing. Like, we don't know anything about the market. We don't have data. We don't have statistics. Okay, so they started to have interviews to go to meet the people, and they started to have an institutional framework to solve these problems. Okay, we can say there is a specific mechanism that the country started to follow. If you are going to speak about the governmental level, so we can say that a new industrial committee and export council has been settled. An institutional framework to collect data and statistics has been settled. So now we have the data and the statistics that can help us to have the plan to have foreign trade, to go into international markets. Okay, what about the people who were not very much motivated to be attracted to this sector? The government started to put for them new policies, new health insurance, social insurance, security, like anyone who's working for any big corporate. So people started to say, okay, so working as a craftsman
It's
is
trying
not...
to empower that particular industry.
Yes, because they used to have it just like a talent. The people who are working in that field, they didn't work for a corporate.
They work like amateurs.
Amateurs, exactly. And they don't have a structure to work for. They feel that they are lost. We don't have any kind of insurance. We don't have any kind of information given to us. We don't have a structure.
And in return, they, turn into something else.
Corporate life. Corporate life. So the government started to say, no, we are having a structure for you. We are going to collect data. We are going to provide you with the data, how to have this taken to other markets.
Please, if you like to continue. Because I was going to say, before getting into the mechanism, if you like to add something before we get into the mechanism.
Okay, when we say that, we are speaking about something that we were saying that it was diminishing. Okay, now when you have someone who's working in a business life, they go to college and they learn what business is. Okay, these people have nothing. They know nothing about business. They only have the talent. Yes, they only have the talent. So what the mechanism the country is using now for them, no, we are having training centers for you. We are having consulting centers for you. You can come to us and give you all the advice and consultation to start. So this encouraged people to say, okay, we are going to keep our talent. We are going to work for this sector like any other sector. We are getting all the benefits.
It's going to be taken official frame. But let me ask you before we get into the mechanism also, because when I hear you talking, questions keep rising into my head. Like, for example, what type of ministries are going to be involved in that type of empowering and enforcing of that industry? Is it only going to be the Ministry of Solidarity, Social Solidarity, or
foreign trades will be involved? Finance.
Really?
Investment, definitely.
So it's becoming huge now.
Because it will become, we are starting new enterprises. Now we found out that we cannot keep it individual business. It has to be structured. So what are we going to do?
At the same time.
Exactly. And what are you going to do? We are going to start new startups. So, for example, I have 5 people who have that talent, and they are very good at craftsmen. They are very meticulous, and they are very sophisticated, and they are very talented, but they are not business oriented. So what can we do? Okay, we are starting the small and middle enterprises. What will this do? This is a great idea now that the country or the government is pushing us for. Now you are talented, but you have nothing to know about marketing. You don't know, for example, Ahmed can be a very, very clever craftsman. He is very talented, and he has, as we say, golden hands. But he needs money. To get a loan, he needs to have a business model. He doesn't know how to make a business model. He needs to make market analysis. He doesn't have the knowledge to make a market analysis. He needs to do a business plan. He doesn't know. They are doing everything by sense. Even costing, even pricing. They're doing everything by sense. So this is not a way to run a business. So now we are starting new small and middle-sized enterprises just to tell them, okay, you come with your talent. You are having the HR function that can hire people for you and train them. You are having the marketing function who can help you to make market analysis and to recommend the marketing strategy. You are having the accounting department to know how to do the costing and the pricing. You know the financing. You have the financing department if you need a loan from the bank. You are having different, you know how to have a value chain. Before that, I was an individual. I'm doing everything by sense and by talent, but not by knowledge. So starting new startups.
And this doesn't work like that anymore.
Especially in our age. Now, I don't want to work locally. Definitely, when President Sisi and someone like Naveen Kabak, they join together and have a big conference, they are not seeking local benefits. They are seeking getting foreign currency. They are seeking to have a market outside the country. They are seeking to export. Yes? If I want to have this big business, this means that I need to train people. I need to provide them with finance. I need to provide them with technology and train them on technology, because part of the craftsman, sometimes you need technology. I need to tell them where to get the supplies they need or the resources they need, because they need a plan to know how to work more effective and efficient, like any other business. So it will be win-win situation. It will be win for the country. The country can export and we can get the foreign currency we are seeking, and the individuals are having a better economic life. We are increasing the economic level and we are decreasing the poverty level, especially that youth can work in different areas. There is woodwork, metalwork, stonework, leather work. We are having different lots of areas. So
knitwear.
Yeah, can you imagine how many
Tailoring,
blacksmith, painting, sculpturing, sculpture, pottery. You have different areas to work for. Can you imagine how many lady and gentleman?
It's all, but the heritage is full of all those elements. But also, most importantly, we are opening job opportunities, providing the youth with job opportunities, because many people sometimes they. Some people are laid off, some people they come on pension, some people might have new job opportunities when they are on pension or something. I mean, it's very beneficial on all levels, right?
Let me tell you something. In every country, there are some kind of people who don't want to be regular employees. They don't want to go at 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock. They are not that type. They are artists. They want to work at the time they want. This is a golden opportunity for them. You can work whenever you want, but you can give us productivity. And by the way, this will add to the GDP of the country. So again, the individual will be having a better lifestyle. The GDP of the country will be higher, and you are diminishing the unemployment rate.
Right. Let's tackle the mechanisms now. Talking about the mechanisms that could be used by the state to encourage the young people. I mean, I can study the words that you said, to encourage them, because probably young people are not fully aware of what you're saying, because they haven't seen that much of that declining art. So what are the mechanisms used by the state to encourage those people and establish the small and micro projects and push them to invade that particular sphere?
Okay, the mechanism used is dealing with this talent as a structured business. They call the craftsmen and tell them, give us ideas about what you want. Craftsmen speak. By the way, the best thing that this mechanism uses is that we are not having the same craft or the same people working for the same thing, and we are neglecting others. It is a kind of coordinating between craftsmen. This is number one. So we are collecting all the craftsmen, getting ideas from them, doing business models for them, giving them different strategies with different ideas, giving them the information gathered and analyzed. Every craftsman is doing a SWOT analysis to know what his points of strength and what his opportunities to work. So we are tailoring policies, we are tailoring opportunities, we are tailoring gates to open in different countries according to the potential of the youth we are having. So the mechanism here is we're not working haphazardly. We are having a tailored plan according to the area where people are working. Upper Egypt is different. By the way, do you know that there is one factory in Egypt, in Sohag, that has a very specific, unique kind of textile. And no one in Egypt knows about it because it is exported to France. And we are buying this again from France with very high price.
That is very common in some parts of Egypt, like the Egyptian cotton.
Yeah.
Like some kinds of
when you go to the United States, you can buy a very expensive t-shirt because it's made in Egypt, or the cotton is made in Egypt.
Exactly.
Okay? But they know how to market it. That's what I'm telling you. We have the talent here, but these people needed to have the knowledge, they needed to have the training. And now what the government, under the umbrella of, or under the guidance of the president, are preparing that it will not be without planning, it will not be something unplanned, it will be a big plan with all the mechanisms that help these people to work in a structured place like any corporate or any other sector.
Before we move on to other points, but let me get in also and ask you about if talking about job opportunities, is that going to be offering job opportunities and space and I mean chances for other sectors other than youth, because there are sectors for other citizens, probably the elderly with talents who have experience, probably the women with children, I mean empowering women also, I mean some minorities like I mean the people who are the immigrants who are coming over, and we're opening our doors to many nationalities from countries with disasters. I mean, are we going to open opportunities for other sectors?
This is a very smart point that you mentioned now, because this sector is one of the very rare sectors.
It's open.
That's open for young. For example, I can be 14 or 15 years old and I have the talent. I can be working beside my schools. Okay, part-time women, part-time men who want to increase their income. If, for example, if I'm having, for example, visitors or people coming from other countries and they are staying here in their country for 1 year, but they have the talent and they can be inspired by Egyptian culture, and again it will be adding to our GDP. So it will open gates for young people, for elder seniors who want to increase their income and they are not having a job now.
And they have the experience.
And they have the experience and they have the will and they have the passion. For ladies, you know, especially ladies, sometimes women accept to be dominated by improper husbands or bad husbands because they cannot earn their living and they have to spend to raise their kids. Now, women, even if they are not well educated, they can do their own crafts and they can work in this sector to get rid of the dominance of someone they don't want to live with. And when you have such an empowered woman who can earn her money and she feels that she's empowered and she's encouraged by her country, she will be better in raising her kids. She will be better in raising a new generation that we can be proud of.
Right, on that note, unfortunately we ran out of time, but Dr. Amira Sabeq, you're a strategic planning and human development expert. Thank you so much for coming over.
It was a pleasure for me. Thank you.
And giving us some good deal of your knowledge concerning that very important part. And you have a very good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our real pleasure. And by this we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show for today. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again tomorrow morning, that's a goodbye.